He got the name because when he was growing up, Hollis Mason, who Stephen McHattie plays, was the Night Owl 1 in the original, in the graphic novel, which is the Minutemen. And you find out that Dan had written Hollis, and Hollis sort of became his mentor. And he wrote to him and asked if he could carry on the name when they were retiring. So that's why the scenes with Hollis are really important, because I feel like once Dan retired, that's who he wanted to become Hollis's buddy. He wanted to know how to cope with being out of the limelight again. Like, what happens when you take off the suit? I feel completely lost and empty inside. How do you deal with it? You know, you're always sort of battling, am I Night Owl, am I Dan? Um, and the reality is Dan, you're playing Dan who's playing Night Owl. It's not like all of a sudden he's this different person. He's Dan. He's Dan at his best, at his strongest. But he's Dan under there. From just the genre point of view, they needed to have a guy who had the ship. So the design of the ship, I think, is very faithful the uh, to the comic. But I mean, when I walked in it the first time, I was just blown away. I mean, I could sit in there, and I have for hours. No, it's just it's unbelievable, the detail in there. Just unbelievable. So every time I sort of get in there, I sort of need somebody to come over and like, all right, help me out. So I'm just not look like I'm pushing buttons here. Okay, what do we have here? You know, so I needed to sort of go through that with the designers and what works, what doesn't work, what can I hit, um, and all that stuff. The attention to detail on this movie, I just blows me away.